ladies and gentlemen, I guess it is time that you stop rolling those fat doobies around, man, because holy smokers, it ain't no dang jokers, okay? So we got the India versus Pakistan situation lighting up, okay? And then we got the Canada versus US, or I should not be saying versus, I mean Canada and US, okay? There's a big difference here, folks. Canada and US situation. Also, I mean, like, of course, it's like been jokes, this or that. I mean, at times it has been pretty serious, but now that we got the Pakistan versus India situation, the Canada and US situation, Brad, like, it ain't that serious, okay? Like, let's be real, okay? And yeah, we're gonna get right to it because the homie Trump also responded. And get this, fellas, we're gonna get to it. A 2019 study, okay? Back in 2019, obviously. A chilling, by the way, if you're new here, you do not have to subscribe, you do not have to like the video, none of that. But back in 2019, a chilling study had predicted a nuclear war in 2025. Oh shit! What? Say psych right now, bro. Like, yo, listen, man, I'm gonna put my big boy suits on, big boy pants on, and this is how I'm gonna be fighting back, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that suit, bro. Like, this is how I'm gonna fight back, okay? And you better put your big boy suit on as well. First of all, check this out, roll it.
Then to Kashmir last month.
We were walking in the doors of the Oval.
Let's start
Pakistan, after more than... Fox News alert India launching military strikes into Pakistan after more than 24 civilians were killed in a terror attack in Indian administered area of Kashmir last month. President Trump responding to the move.
Damn.
It's a shame we just heard about it just as we were walking in the doors of the Oval.
India launched a strike against Pakistan. Trump on India strike in Pakistan is a shame.
I just heard about it. I guess people knew something was going to happen based on a little bit of the past. They've been fighting for a long time, you know. They've been fighting for many, many decades.
Centuries, actually.
And centuries, actually, if you
centuries,
think about
there we go, yeah.
No, I just hope it ends very quickly.
Facts. Yeah, man, like, cause it's crazy. India is like what, like 1 point some billion. Like, they're crazy, like, bro, like 1 point some billion. Pakistan is very, very small in terms of population, versus, of course, India is like, India and China, like, bro, like, it seems like they're half of the world population. If not, they're actually, in reality, they're closer to half. So yeah, and if one side nukes, you know the other side's gonna nuke, and it's like bam, bam, bam. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you don't want that. Nobody wants that, right? Because if they start nuking each other, then of course we're gonna have this thing called nuclear winter. So the entire world is gonna be affected by stock market's gonna go down, production, this, that, the other. There's just way too many things. And yeah, bro, like, what the hell, man? Like, 2019 study, we're gonna get to that, man. I'm interested in that, actually. Like, who said this? Who said this? Who predicted this? Because in 2025, seemingly we're closer than ever to a nuclear war. Of course, China and Taiwan situation has been going on for a minute. Their tensions have been pretty high, but not as high as Pakistan and India, right? Of course, you got North Korea, you got Canada versus US. Guys, come on now, man. Like, that's just child's play versus what's happening. Of course, Israel versus Gaza situation. You got Russia versus Ukraine. That has been ongoing. So it's like so many countries internationally has been fighting, and then it's like, you know, US is gonna pick a side. I'm sure you guys are also gonna pick a side as well. So countries gonna be picking a side, and this is how, you know, one thing leads to another, and then bam, 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 escalations happen, and, you know, all of a sudden you got your side, your country has your, you know, they pick their side, every country pick their side, and then bam, we jump into a world war situation. So, and that's how like WW2 was, World War I was, World War II was, right? So it's yeah, crazy times to be alive, man. Like, I'm just trying to play GTA 6, I'm just trying to chase my dreams, just trying to do push-ups, just trying to drink water, stay healthy, like, you know, people generally say, and like invest, you know, they say that invest for the long term, you make the money and all that. That's what I be trying to do, man. Like, simple as that. But situation be unfolding after unfolding, and they have been unfolding for a minute, but roll it.
But why did the Indians do it? Why strike inside Pakistan when they only needed to strike, for the sake of credibility, the bases in Kashmir itself? Because they want to up the ante a little bit to show that they take those attacks of the 22nd of April very, very seriously. And what this is all about.
And of course, bro, like, Pakistan's gonna respond, bro. Like, they're gonna retaliate as well, because yeah, India like actually strike within, so they're gonna strike, and it's gonna be really interesting, right? It's crazy that it is like that, but yeah, seemingly Pakistan is gonna respond a little bit bigger, and then India's gonna respond bigger. Then, you know, just like how things started happening with Ukraine and Russia, right? So like one side attacks, then the other side, bam, 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 it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But let's hope like nobody uses nukes, but.
Just tit-for-tat strikes. The Pakistanis have said, well, we will strike back at a time and place of our choosing, and that will happen, we guess, in the next few days. It sounds like playground politics.
It's a schlong measuring contest. Cannot say the other word on YouTube, man.
Grown-up version of that playground politics is that both sides are trying to re-establish deterrence. They're trying to make it clear to the other side that we will hurt you, and if you do this again, we'll hurt you even more, so don't do it again.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's the message. That's the grown-up version. But, of course, deterrence is incredibly perceptual. Deterrence is what the other side feels deterred by. So the...
Okay, check this one out. So shout out to Tim Cast. Roll it.
This story from Economic Times.
India
Times. India-Pakistan war, chilling 2019 study had predicted a nuclear war in 2025 and what could happen. They said the tensions between India and Pakistan have sharply escalated. We get it. This is all happening right now in Jammu and Kashmir's Pahalgam last month. I'm pronouncing it wrong. They say researchers theorize that a major terror attack, initially imagined as an assault on the Indian parliament, would provoke India to mobilize troops.
You know what? Like, the craziest thing is that Simpsons, right? People always say predictive programming, right? Yeah. This now it seems it's like part of it, because the terror attack happened within like India's occupied area of Kashmir, right? And it's crazy because, like, so that happened within the bounds of Indian army was all over that area. So you're telling me that they could not detect it? Yeah, right? It's a little suspect though. So it happened and they were all around. The Indian army was all around, but it still happened. So it's kind of suspect. And I mean, the researchers, I'm interested in this part, okay? Was this said back in 2019, or this is like latest? Because of course this is what happened, but I mean, it does not take a scientist, a genius to, yeah, predict this one. Of course, like something like this would happen, and then the other country's like, okay, you know what? Now it's our time to actually attack, and the other country's like gonna respond this and that, the other. But it's crazy. If this one was predicted back in 2019, damn, I mean, it does say a 2019 research paper published. Holy, that is wild. Predictive programming or what, guys? Like, what we thinking? Because, oh, of course, the Rona, the COVID, I cannot talk about a lot about the thick situation because, like, you know, channels were shut down off of that. But, yeah, like, that was also planned, you know, like that. You know, so we've discovered that recently. I mean, we discovered that back then too, but like, yeah, now you can talk a little bit, but back then, oh crap. Even now, I don't want to talk a whole lot about that, but predictive programming or what, folks? What we thinking?
Troops along the line of control, prompting Pakistan to respond in kind. As tensions boil over, skirmishes and casualties on both sides would lead to a rapid escalation, which is kind of what we're seeing.
Dang,
sort of.
So it was holy. Okay, so that was really said back in 2019. That's correct.
However, they go on to say, day one, Pakistan uses 10 tactical nuclear weapons.
Okay, thank God that didn't happen. So that was wrong. That was wrong. Thank God. Yeah, I mean, this should be wrong. I mean, this should be false. I mean, we definitely don't want that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to use nukes.
Each with a yield of 5 kilotons within its own borders against Indian tanks. Yeah, not happened.
Well, the strategy, if I understand correctly, is Pakistan has threatened if India invades, Pakistan will use nuclear weapons inside its own border, and India has said if you use nuclear weapons on our troops in your own border, we will still consider that a nuclear strike, and we will retaliate with nuclear weapons.
Yeah, so India has a first use policy, although in 2019 they were kind of waffling on whether or not they were going to stick to that. Plus, also, like, do you trust government?
You won't do it?
I don't.
No, yeah. Government bad, like literally everywhere. You know, that's one thing that unites people literally everywhere from all walks of life. Government bad, bro. Government always bad. Lower the taxes. No more taxes. Or I get it. There gotta be some, but damn it, man. No, lower the taxes, brothers. Lower the taxes. Why are we paying this much taxes for when we're not even safe, bro? Like, damn.
Well, to be fair, it says, according to the study, once Indian forces begin advancing into Pakistani territory, Pakistan's generals, fearing a conventional defeat, resort to nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
They say by day 2, Pakistan launches 15 more tactical nukes. In response, India uses 20 strategic nuclear airbursts, targeting Pakistani military installations and nuclear depots. Rather than halting the war, India's escalation prompts a deadly third day. Pakistan responds with 30 airbursts over Indian garrisons, naval bases. India retaliates. Global.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if one country strikes, the other country gotta respond with something bigger, right? And then they gotta respond something bigger. So it's like every strike gets bigger and bigger, and that's where it escalates to some crazy, right? Man, listen, bro. Like, yo, hit him up with a Fortnite 2, bro.
Bruh.
Let him play a game like Fortnite 2 that is exclusive to presidents, and yeah, do a battle royale. Let's see who wins King of the Hill.
Bruh.
Let's see who wins the battle royale. Let's see who wins, right? How many countries are there? Last time I checked, 220, 219, some, yeah, like sometimes we got new countries, sometimes countries are actually deleting and all that, which is crazy, but like, you know, so how many countries are there? I'm gonna Google, but you know what? Let's have like all the presidents, all the governors, all the prime ministers, and everybody in between, and let them play Call of Duty style game. Maybe, you know, Activision can make a game just dedicated just for the presidents. And yeah, nuke each other in the game, bro. Nuke each other in the game, bro. Yeah, absolutely. You know, like, damn, bro. Like, easy, bro. Simple. Case closed. Simple.
Fallout. Assuming both countries possess around 250 nuclear weapons each, the researchers warn catastrophic consequences, 50 to 125 million immediate deaths, depending on weapon yield. Major Indian and Pakistani cities would be completely destroyed or rendered uninhabitable.
Yeah.
Healthcare, transportation, energy, and finance would be in ruins. But the devastation wouldn't stop there. The climatic effects of the smoke and firestorms would impact the entire planet, potentially triggering famines that could affect billions.
Yeah, right. And you know what's crazy is that, of course, like, if we're gonna dive into conspiracies, because I love them, and I know some of you guys love that too, because we cover that content. Maybe you're new here, and that's fine. If you're new, you do not have to subscribe unless, you know, because I generally don't post this type of content. We post like variety of content, so that's why you don't gotta subscribe. You don't have to, right? Like, unless you want to, of course. But yeah, so there have been conspiracies, right? We've been covering UFO stuff, and you know, there have been conspiracies that apparently the aliens do not like us using the nuke. So let's just say, if one country is about to use the nuclear weapon, right, will the aliens come down and like be like, okay, pause, brother, pause, like stop, tranquilo? Will they actually do that? If so, that's good. That means that nobody's gonna be able to use the nuke, right? But what if they're not that nice and we are able to use the nukes? Or what if we use it and then they come and then they invade us, right? Because there have been conspiracies. Of course, not saying this is true, not saying this is false. This is just a conspiracy theory, rather. But we hear this all the time, right? Because ever since US actually dropped nukes in Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, back in the around the WW2 era time period, right? Yeah, so the ETs, the aliens, were interested. They were like, oh shit, like mankind's gonna blow themselves up, so we gotta start showing the hell up. We gotta show the hell up. And this is where we started like seeing more and more, and we got like crazy amount of UFO sightings happening all over the world. So that's like one of the conspiracy theory. But I'm interested, like, are they gonna show up now? Because it is time. Y'all boys better show up right now, because things are heating up. It seems like that we're closer than ever to a nuclear war. So these boys need to show up right now.
Would be enormous and global in scope.
Well, the good news is, although this there's still a lot of nukes that the two countries have, it's not 250 apiece. According to the Arms Control Association, India has 172 and Pakistan has 170 for a total of 342. So we're not quite at the level that this study predicted, which is good news.
I mean, if they you know, lit off 200 nukes between the two of them,
it would still be very bad. No, I am in agreement with that. I'm just saying
it's gonna be over, lady. Like, it's over. I mean, women doing the most woman thing ever, man. You're crazy. Love the women out there. Love the ladies that are watching this video. Y'all are queens. Y'all the queens. Just a joke. Don't take it too seriously, okay? Men do dumb things all the time. I guess like this entire war, like, you know, it's like men showing who got the biggest schlong, okay? So men doing the men thing ever, right? Bruh. Here you go. That's men jokes for the ladies out there, okay? Gotta keep both parties happy sometimes, okay?
The study maybe is not as
No, it says both countries possess 250. I think they mean in total.
Oh, together.
But it says each. 250 each.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. I am incorrect. Because I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, based on the numbers you gave, that's like 250. Or what did you say?
342.
Bro, 250, 170, 100. It's bad. It is bad. It is bad. All right, let's get down to this here, okay? So the homie Trump, this is a historic meeting at the White House between Mark Carney and the homie Donald Trump. And the homie Mark Carney as well, all right? I'm in Canada, by the way, so yeah, man. Roll it.
A warm welcome from U.S. President Donald Trump for Prime Minister Mark Carney. The Oval Office, the setting for the first meeting of the two leaders. With Trump playing host, he played up the cross-country friendship.
I love Canada. I have a lot of respect for the Canadians.
This face-to-face meeting comes during a season of frayed relations over trade, soured by the president's repeated suggestion that the U.S. should annex Canada.
Oh, Mélanie Joly aussi était là. Ah ouais, ainsi calice là, tabarnak là, m'en bat les... Non, m'en bat pas les couilles aujourd'hui là. Mais, ouais. Any Français here? Let me know, man. That's the homie Marco Rubio. Where's JD? Oh, JD West! Yo! But did you say thank you? We're gonna say thank you real quick before you ask us that question.
Canada's the 51st state.
As you know from real estate.
Yes, should annex Canada as the 51st state.
As you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, you know, Buckingham Palace that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever.
Canada is stepping up the...
Not in 2 years from now or something like that. Oh, man. No, honestly, like, Canada is not for sale. Canada is not for sale. It's not for sale. But what I'm saying is that, yo, like, I'm just saying, bro, like, Canada and US, bro, together, bro, I'm just saying, man, like, it's gonna be crazy good. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. All right, Canada and US, one country, bro. Or, not one country, but, like, Canada is Canada, but like we can come together as one, and no more tariffs, no more work visa required for both sides, okay? No more tariffs. And there are of course other opportunities and other aspects where we can come and unite, bro. I'm just saying, man, Canada, US, bro, could be crazy good. It could have been it can be amazing.
Military participation, because Canada is stepping up the military participation, because Mark knew, you know, they were low and now they're stepping it up, and that's a very important thing. But never say never. Never say never.
Never say never. Never say.
I think he was very careful. I think he...
Yo, did Mark also said never say never? Yo! Because I know a lot of people voted for him here in Canada because they thought the homie Pierre Poilievre was gonna sell Canada out, and people wanted to vote for him initially, but then ended up voting for Mark Carney because of the fears of, you know, Canada-US annexation, the homie Trump this, that, homie Trump bad, Orange Man bad, this, that, the other. And now, did he really said that? Yeah, never say never. Yo, that is crazy!
Because Mark knew, you know, they were low and now they're stepping it up, and that's a very important thing. But never say never. Never say never.
I think it was...
Yo, he said that! He said never say never! Yo, I'm telling y'all, man, he may change his mind later on, and he may sell Canada to the US, man. Oh, yeah, right? You never know, man. You never know, bro. Like, that is crazy. But, of course, they're joking around, and I'm joking around, too, bro.
He was very careful. I think he was trying his best to make that positive first introduction.
This political science instructor says Carney navigated difficult waters with the U.S. president.
Why does he walk like he's about to nuke a country? Yo, crazy walk, man.
With this president, it's so vitally important that this personal relationship be started on the right foot. So far, I think he's off to a decent start.
Watching closely in the halls of the legislature were NDP ministers who, for the most part, liked what they saw from the Oval Office.
Well, I think, quite frankly, the Prime Minister did a very good job of walking a very fine line and making it clear that Canadians have spoken, and never is never, and his message was pretty clear.
Oh, never is never. Oh. But nah, it felt like that he said never say never. I mean, Trump said never say never, but okay, so it's hard to say whether Carney said never is never or never say never. Big difference there, folks. I hope he said never say never, because I'm just saying, man, Canada, US could be crazy, bro. It could be crazy, man.
I was just catching up on the video footage from the meeting. I think
but it's not going to happen,
Minister held himself well there. I think what British Columbians, Canadians really are going to want to know is what happens in that room once the final discussion happens.
But Trump did tell reporters during the meeting he had no plans to change his mind on tariffs.
Is there anything he could say to you in the course of your meetings with him today that would get you to lift tariffs on Canada?
No.
Why not?
Just the way it is.
Until today, Trump's participation at the G7 Leaders Summit in Alberta in June was a question mark. Today, Carney confirmed it's happening, overall describing the meeting as constructive.
We have a lot more work to do. I'm not trying to suggest at any respect that we can have one meeting and everything's changed, but now we are engaged and very fully engaged.
Carney says he did press Trump to remove the tariffs on Canadian goods, and he's working to convince Americans that tariffs are bad for the U.S. economy as well.
Yeah, it is bad for everybody, but did you see this video though? If not, click on this video on the screen, because apparently a massive UFO crash, and it was also seen, we have the Area 51 clip as well. Check it out, and I'll see you right there.